send it to you individually as well po. But State of the Fake Report 2025 po is because Entrupy, we work with 95, 96 countries right now po. So we've seen how the world changed in terms of counterfeit, in terms of like luxury goods and all that stuff po. So the 2025 report is based on what we've seen back in 2024. But it's also giving us like the direction where we're headed to. So I'll be talking in Taglish. So medyo nakaka-nosebleed. No, but for Entrupy, for our media friends as well. So quick introduction and maybe a refresher for our Entrupy verified businesses as well. So we're located in the US. Our headquarters is in New York. Noriko and I are based in Tokyo, and then we have in India and Brazil. We work with 90 plus countries, and we have the accuracy rate of not 100%, but 99.86%. So we can still make mistakes, but we own our mistakes. We take responsibility for that one. Maybe I think some of the Entrupy verified businesses here also have experienced like false positives as well. And how we take responsibility with that one po. Hi, Alvin. Here po kayo.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. No worries. We're just starting. Si Mr. Alvin po.
Hello.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
So yeah, so what we do is we do authentication for resellers. We don't work directly with the consumers, but maybe soon. But basically, it's our Entrupy verified businesses who are authenticating for everybody. And then if we make a mistake, we actually pay. We have the financial guarantee, and we pay not the authentication fee, but we actually pay on how much they bought the bag for. And I think we're the only ones doing that one. But everyone is asking kasi like what AI is. People don't really believe that much about AI or are confused on what AI can do. So for everyone's reference, we actually have 60 million or more than 60 million images. And this one are taken globally, hindi lang sa Philippines, not just in the US, not just in Japan, but really globally. And this is what we're using to train our AI. And then the more we feed information to AI, of course, it's being better and better. And then because of our technology, we actually saved or we actually prevented more than 6 billion US dollars transactions from happening. Meaning to say, because na flag namin na it's not authentic or unidentified is what we call it in our terms. So we prevented from those transactions from happening. Tapos, so basically how we help our clients or how we help everyone, because we're in the middle of every point of transaction, we answer these 5 questions that Didit always mentions to us. So it's really, is the item authentic? Is it exactly the same item? Kasi minsan sa Philippines, kunwari bumili ka ng like one item from online, but another item would be shipped to you. So people tend to swap it. Or maybe for the Entrupy verified businesses, they sell something and then people would ask for returns, and then yung ibabalik is a fake one. So we answer that question as well through technology. And then we also now have Market Edge. So that one allows us or allows the users to know the condition of the bag, like if it's may scratches, if it's a good condition or so. And then we also can provide information of how much is the average price in the region, or how much is it basically sold. Let's say this Louis Vuitton bag, how much is it being sold in other regions. And then we can also give information on how it's listed in other countries. So those are the things that we do. We do authentication. So for our Entrupy verified businesses and for the para rin po alam ng media friends natin, we do authentication for luxury bags and small leather goods. So usually when you go around, like for example sa stores nila, First Mason, Dr. Leather, and Freya Collective, you'll see that their bags also has the Entrupy certificates, or for Dr. Leather, they actually provide the authentication services to the consumers as well. So now we do sneakers, and also we recently launched apparel last week. And then the fingerprinting, is the return fraud protection that are being used by not just Entrupy but also different logistics company or even the brands themselves. And then the market edge that I mentioned earlier. So para lang may gist tayo before we go into the details of the fun parts about the state of the fake report. Yeah. Yung sa state of the fake report, this one, I'll send everything to each and every one of you so we can look at it later when you have time. But in a nutshell, basically in 2024, in 6 countries, so we've authenticated like millions of items in 1 year alone. And 91.6% are actually authentic. And pag sinabi nating unidentified, we don't use the word fake, but we can't say it's authentic. So when you look at the state of the fake report, we do have the global map as well. And I think one of the biggest thing that would be interesting for everybody would be the Asia Pacific kung nasan po yung Philippines. If you can see, last year alone, Asia Pacific is actually 42% of all the total authentications globally. So, and Philippines is one of the emerging markets that we do have. So actually, when I joined, Philippines was the highest usage, pero tumataas din yung mga neighboring countries. So ang ranking ng Philippines ngayon with the Entrupy usage, of course, since we're an American company, US is still the highest, followed by Japan because Japan is also considered the sourcing capital. So I think kapag pupunta kayo sa mga resellers online or may physical stores, they would always say like, oh, they bought it from Japan as well. And then Taiwan, and then Canada, Australia. So sa Southeast Asia, Vietnam is increasing. Before actually mas mataas ang Philippines, but because what we're hearing is that a lot of like the items from mainland China are being shipped to Japan, to Vietnam, to Philippines, and then the rest of the world. Kaya medyo konti yung China doon. And then Great Britain, Indonesia, and Mexico. Pero the unique part of the Philippines is, I think everyone is aware, tayo pa may pinakamaraming scams. So actually, this is also one of the reasons why we have this intimate lunch. We wanted to get some advice, hear it directly from you on what else, because we know that fighting counterfeit is something that we alone cannot do. We know that it has to be partnering with governments. And speaking of partnering with government, we recently signed the e-commerce MOU with IPOPHIL, Intellectual Property of the Philippines, to also help protect and stop counterfeit items from being sold in different platforms in the Philippines. So before coming here, actually we just came from IPOPHIL as well. So we're doing like different efforts to really raise that awareness. It's not for our business, but we're like what Vidyut mentioned, we're really passion-driven company. And what we want to do is really just one thing, build trust. And by building trust, it's really mainly stopping counterfeit items or hopefully stopping scams as well from happening. So this is maybe later on you can also share what we can, you can also give us an advice on what we can also do here in the Philippines as well. But this one, I think this one is the fun part of the report. So the most authenticated bags last year in the whole world, actually Louis Vuitton has been #1 for years. Actually ever, right?
Forever.
Yeah, forever. So a lot of like, we do work with different companies. I do handle the whole Asia Pacific, but every single time, all the resellers that we speak with, everyone would be like, we need to sell Louis Vuitton more kasi it's the demand. The demand is there. Everyone wants a Louis Vuitton because there are different reasons why they want a Louis Vuitton, but mainly because it's a little bit on a not as pricey compared to a Chanel or an Hermes. Pero that's one. And then the second one is Gucci, Chanel, Prada, then Dior. And this is the global ranking. So iba pa po yung ranking sa Asia Pacific, iba pa po yung ranking natin sa Pilipinas. Pero yung interesting part was last year, ang #5 is actually Coach. So medyo tumataas yung Dior demand. And I think the reason for that one is social media. A lot of like influencers are having the Lady Dior bag or the saddle bags. So usually those are what we're seeing. And this one you'll also get one for later. So, ito po yung when we were looking at the data. So, Asia Pacific, ano yung top 3 ranking? And ng Philippines, like yung sinabi ni Ms. Kat kanina, there's a high demand in the Philippines for Chanel. And then Louis Vuitton and then Gucci. Last year, actually, pumasok pa ang Hermes, but I think because of sa hirap ng buhay yata ngayon, and then usually layaway yung mga installments. So, medyo tumataas, bumabalik ulit yung Gucci, Louis Vuitton sa ranking. Yeah, we'll share this one again with you later. Tapos ito, ang pinaka-interesting part. So, the most fake bags last year, ito ang ranking natin globally. So, number 1, Louis Vuitton. Dahil sa sobrang taas ng demand, mataas talaga po yung mga number ng counterfeit items that we do have. And then the Prada, kasi ngayon sa Prada po, everyone is familiar that we have the renylon, yung mga reused materials that nila. So it's easier to fake din po. Tapos Gucci, Chanel, and Saint Laurent. Pero yung most fake bags, it's based on the unidentified volume. So yung pinakamaraming number ng unidentified or non-authentic items po yan. Pero meron kaming isang part pa ng ranking that we share sa report po namin. It's actually, later on I'll go into it, it's more of like, for example, in one brand, let's say Louis Vuitton, we authenticated like millions of items ng Louis Vuitton. Ano yung percentage, yung pinakamataas na percentage na fake? Yun. So that's a different ranking. But for the most fake items, this is the ranking sa Philippines. Chanel talaga, Louis Vuitton, and Gucci. It's similar with the, yeah. So this one's is last year.
So this is the fake.
Yeah, most fake items as well. So it's similar. And then after that one, this one is the elevated risk of fakes. So this one po yung sinabi ko na, let's say, meron tayo in-authenticate na, let's say 100,000 na goyon. 18.4% nun is most likely fake. So ito po yung elevated risk. So the reason why we're sharing this one to the rest of the world, to everybody po, is also to see the trends. And for example, for mga resellers, if you're buying, let's say, a Goyard, a Prada, or any of these brands, medyo mas magiging mas alert po yung mga resellers din. And also for consumers, because this State of the Fake report is actually free for all. Hindi lang alam nung mga consumers because it's mainly for businesses that we share. But this is the ranking, and these are the styles that are mainly we're seeing globally. And ngayon, since Loewe is getting more popular din sa social media, we're seeing an increase of puzzle bags na fake yung or unidentified yung nakikita namin globally. So last year, ang ranking natin, Celine, Hermes, Loewe. Pero ngayon, I think, like what I mentioned earlier, medyo bumaba yung ranking ng Hermes, bumaba yung demand ng Hermes globally. And I think we're still seeing it for 2025. So for next year's State of the Fake, I think we're seeing that trend. So ito, most fake materials, if you're interested, you can also look at it kung ano yung mga materials, what kind of leathers yung mga madalas na fake ng mga tawag nito, ng mga counterfeiters. But I think this one is also interesting din kasi like what are the most fake brands in different regions. In the US, the ranking would always be, last year was Louis Vuitton, Gucci, and Chanel. Ang Asia Pacific, it's Prada, yung pinakamataas na fake item, and then Gucci, and then Louis Vuitton po. So interesting siya in a sense na different region or different perspective. If you look at it globally, iba yung ranking. And then the more you zoom in, nag-iiba din po yung ranking. So sa Philippines naman po, most authenticated brands, yung 4th and 5th would be Dior. And meron pa rin Hermes kasi I think the Filipinos would have this mindset na it's an investment. Yes, exactly. So marami din po ngayong nakikita na Hermes na fake items din po. And just an additional information din po, what we're seeing globally din po, not just the Philippines, is that sometimes when in China, tawag nito, pinapalitan nila yung ibang, we call it the Frankenstein bags. Kunwari dalawa yung bag, let's say these are all the same bags. Kinukuha nila yung ibang parts ito and then they put it there. Yeah, so sometimes we're seeing that trend din po happening in Asia Pacific. And then in the Philippines, most fake brands, Goyard, Dior. Goyard, talagang nakikita ko nga po sa tawag nito sa mga vlogs ni Miss Jayan. Marami din sa nag-a-ask for Goyard ngayon, right? And then also for Dior. Pero I think, personally speaking, rather than the most fake, rather than this ranking, ang pinaka most interesting sa Philippines is this one. Yung sinasabi ko po na if we authenticated, let's say 100,000, mataas yung percentage na fake yun. And in the Philippines, ito po yung ranking niya: Loewe, Goyard, Celine, Chloe, and MCN. And usually, ang naririnig namin when we talk to our supply, with our Entrupy verified businesses din po, usually they're getting from the same supplier in some parts of Asia Pacific actually. Pero yun, so we do have different information again with the different trends na we're seeing in counterfeit. But I think the main thing that we really wanted to raise an awareness of is, now that the Burr months, it's already the Burr months, people would be buying from resellers for Christmas gifts and all that po. Kaso lang po, yung mga Entrupy verified businesses, they're really legit businesses that authenticity and trust is everything for them as well. It's their brand, it's their name. Pero marami po mga online resellers na scammers din po. So we really wanted to make sure na what else can we do to let people know na mag-ingat when they do shop for the Christmas season as well. Because the trend that we're seeing is that we're seeing more and more transactions of counterfeits, mainly on social media. Rather than physical stores, rather than like, minsan din may mga C2C platform, pero marami po talaga sa Facebook, marami sa Instagram. Tapos ang ginagawa po nila is they take the conversation to private direct messages po. So yun po yung, I think, the tips that we really wanted everyone to focus on and raise awareness on that one.